Hey y'all, I'm Kiki Hunter.
What's good, people? I'm Mark Hunter.
Welcome
Welcome
to
to
the
the
Hunt
Hunt
Life
Life
Podcast.
Podcast.
It's like three key things in marriage that nobody talks about or like really bring up. And that's checking your ego, putting your pride to the side, and willingness.
Hmm.
I say willingness because you gotta be willing to grow. You
Mhm.
gotta be willing to like understand your partner. You gotta be willing to like deal with the ups and downs when it comes to marriage. Because marriage it's a roller coaster.
Mhm.
So you have to go through the motions in order to get to the best days. And even in the best days, you can sometimes like it's still going through the motions.
Yeah.
I say pride because we are all independent people. Before we all got married, before we all got into relationships and stuff, we all pride ourselves on being independent.
Mhm.
So it's putting that pride to the side so you can be able to become one and
Right.
actually have like a monolithic type. I like that word, but
I
have
see.
that monolithic just one way that
Say
you
it
want
one
to.
time and he just take it. See what I'm saying?
You
Yeah,
got
you
to some
never
of the
know.
see that's marriage. Some of the time you take each other words. Y'all start using the same slogans and sayings and stuff, slang, all that good stuff. But you gotta be on one accord.
Mhm.
But then you also have to be able to put your ego to the side so that your partner know that, hey, maybe you're not doing this the right way, or hey, maybe you can do it this way because I like it better this way. Like it's checks and balance. Marriage is really about checks and balance, and then on top of all of that, it's still about communication because you got to communicate through all three of those.
Yeah, I think it's just the thing about marriage is that we don't it doesn't fit into the normal reality of the lie we tell ourselves about what marriage is going to be. And so it makes you ill prepared to do the work that you have to put in to keep it healthy and happy because it just doesn't always feel nice. It doesn't always feel comfortable.
Mhm.
A lot of the conversations are not always comfortable. A lot of your problems are not always comfortable to bring up and discuss. Especially when you're two different people coming from two totally different backgrounds. Yeah, y'all of course share something in common. That's what brought y'all together. But I think what people fail is because we have to come to a realization of just how much work marriage really is. From putting, because we can say put the ego to the side, but we all know putting the ego to the side is not easy.
Yeah, but that's
Because
why it's
we all are
important.
very ego
Egotistical.
driven people. Yeah, egotistical. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all ego driven people. And in some way, shape, or form, or fashion, even the most modest, humblest person is we live in ego. That's just who we are designed to be as humans. So when you say put down the ego, it's understanding like you're not always right about things. It's understanding that when you are on an ego trip,
Hmm.
why don't you want to do the thing? Why don't you want to try it this way? Because you always been doing it like that, and that's the way you learn, and that's the way your family been doing it. And you've always done it, and it's not wrong. And you feel like if you give in and you do it a different way, then that means what I've been doing is wrong. And it could be like, no, it could just be a better way that we could do it.
Hmm.
Like that doesn't mean that you were wrong, but that's the stuff we start telling ourselves, and then the fight turns more into why we don't want to do the thing versus what's wrong with doing the thing. What's wrong with having a conversation? What's wrong with trying it a new way? What's wrong with like finding a happy medium that works for
Yeah,
everybody?
because in a marriage, the fight turns into it. The fight is the ego.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that
the
that
fight
that's
is
what the
the
main
ego.
fight is. The fight is the ego. Like because you want to be right, I want to be right.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier this week, regardless of the fact, anything that I do, you can always say that I did something wrong. But then also the other way around, I can always say that there's something that you did wrong. Because in
Oh
our
yeah.
eyes, in our
We was
point of
having a conversation.
views, it's always like from what we feel.
Mhm.
But the part about it is putting your ego to the side, and it's like understanding that even if your partner's saying that you're doing something wrong, you have to
Mhm.
take what they're saying and you have to try to apply different ways to try to make it better for the relationship. Because the part that gets in the way is when you don't want to put your ego to the side and you want to just sit there and continue to stand on the ground of, well, no, I'm never wrong. And
Or
that
I've
goes for,
always been like this. You
yeah.
knew I was like this when you got with me,
Hmm.
right? Like, because we say that a lot. You already knew this was what you was getting. I was already like this. Why is it a problem now? And it's like, because I expect you to evolve. And it's not to say, that's why I say, not that I expect you to change, but I expect you to evolve.
To grow.
I expected you um, to show, now that we're learning each other on a different level, it's certain parts of your partner should, it's certain things about you that only your partner should have access to. It's not for you to have let the world access it. So if you are like me, I'm not the most affectionate person. Like, not everybody gets that from me. A lot of people don't get that. But I'm a very sensitive person, right? But the world and a lot of people don't get to see that. I feel like it's a specific kind of vulnerability I'm able to be with you that I probably would never be with other people. I was like in my right mind. Now, if I'm like rock bottom down now, I might call up my best friend and be like, listen, like, but I really got to be a deep down bad, right?
And for
But
me,
with you,
if
that's
you
not.
don't know, like I'm not really like a talker. If y'all wasn't aware of that, but but with her, like I talk her head off because
That was the thing in the relationship.
but
Like,
that's just
that's been
me.
a
Like
running thing. Like, people used to say Mark did not talk, and people like, he don't talking, and I'm like, but he does. He talks a lot, actually. Like, and people like, girl, I don't know. Like, no, he talks. Like,
mhm.
y'all tripping. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a certain level of vulnerability you should be able, and it's nothing. And I never saw nothing wrong with it because I'm like, he talks to me, so I'm kind of okay if he don't talk to like other people. Like, now that we're business, I'm like, bro, like, you gotta talk to other people
And
because
I do
you
talk to other
like,
people, but I
in
think
his
it's
mind, he
more
talks to other
so
people.
I talk to you differently than the way I talk to other people.
Yeah.
Like with you, I'm willing to talk about my concerns. I'm willing to talk to you about like where I feel like I failed at, what I'm scared of, like all the different little like soft ass shit that you
Inner
know.
thoughts.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
the way
nothing
I'm
wrong
looking.
with that. That's what
Like
I'm saying. It's
I
nothing.
pillow talk with you. I ain't pillow talking with nobody else.
That's the thing too. You can't be comfortable in who you've always been.
Who you used to be.
You well, it can't. Well,
Well, because
I
when you're
said
outside of a marriage, that's one type of version of you. But when you become like one with your significant other, that's the whole part of like sacrificing. You sacrifice your solo-ness to be with someone else. So I'm not saying that you lose all shades of yourself, but you lose some shades of yourself because you gotta again put that independency to the side because you got to be able to come and be like one with someone else so y'all can push y'all agenda that y'all trying to push to get to the level of happiness or whatever level of success or whatever that you are trying to do within your marriage.
but that's what I'm saying. I think some people don't. I think some people. That's what I'm saying. Love is like, it's hard because it's the little phases of yourself. Because one thing, if you're not growing, your relationship gonna show you you're not growing.
Yeah.
Because y'all are gonna start having problems
Mm-hmm.
in the relationship, even if it's just because it's always been that way. Because somebody's gonna get bored. Somebody's gonna be ready for something new. Somebody's gonna be ready for the involving of the relationship, the growing in the relationship that it was expected, right? So if you stuck on, I've always been like this. And certain things, like, I'm trying to think of an example because we say that like, well, I've always been this way, like going back to like, I'm not the most emotional person. I could say that, and like for a long time in a relationship, I was like, you want some out of me, I'm just not like capable of giving you. Like, I'm not that girl, right? And it caused me to have to really think about it and be like, I have to be vulnerable. If I can't be vulnerable with nobody else, you should be able to be vulnerable with your spouse. And so now I have to go do the deep dive and figure out why I can't be vulnerable with you. Like, what is it about me? And that now I have to unlock something and grow through that in order to be that person. I could easily say, I ain't never been there. I'm not going to be there. You stop looking for that out of me, right? But it causes for you to grow at some point. Not change, but to just grow into something better, because you can't raise kids being that cold-hearted. You can't be like, and not to say like my kids did get that out of me, but it was like, why couldn't my spouse get that out of me?
Like, same thing for me with that situation. My problem was the willingness to like let you in, the willingness to tell you about like the moves that I want to make. At the beginning, when we first was married, when we first started getting married, or when we was newlyweds, like I'll say that because I'm like how to say it. At the beginning, I was more so like I was still, to a certain extent, still standoffish with my moves. She would say that I'm being sneaky or living a double life.
Living a double
But
life. I'm
like,
telling you, baby, the double life be real. Like you let me know what you feel like you want to let me know. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
yeah, and it was
That's
understanding
a
that I
double
couldn't do
life.
that.
Like, you can't just be out here
moving and grooving without.
We like together, but we still making decisions. We moving separate, and that don't work in a relationship.
It doesn't work in a marriage. Not even. Yeah, it doesn't work in a marriage. And that was, I think I had to learn that the hard way. But in the process of learning that the hard way, I learned something new about myself, but I also learned something new about you. And I feel like for the simple fact of growing out of that and learning the new things about each other, it kind of sort of helped grow our relationship to a very more stable place than what it needs to be. Because I feel like some of the stuff that we go through now, if we would have went through this when we first was getting married, we would have been more like at each other's necks, versus now we're more willing to like actually sit down and like talk about it.
Yeah.
You're willing to open up and talk. You're willing to be vulnerable with me, and I'm willing to be vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
Because we never was really like the vulnerable type people. So that was like, I think that was like a real big thing in the beginning of our relationship, at the beginning of our marriage, is both of us being vulnerable with each other.
Yeah, but I think it showed up different.
Yeah.
Because like you were always the talker, and it's like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
But I wouldn't be vulnerable about everything or about certain situations.
Yeah, he want to hear
talk.
me, and it'd be like, no, I don't want to, because you gotta. And with some, like they told us that in marriage counseling, like y'all both waiting on each other to jump, but neither one of y'all would do it. And it's like, yeah, because I'm not finna just be. If this is the way you move it, I'm finna move. Like, you don't need to know everything about me. It's a two-way street, and like it just in my mind at the time it worked like that. I was like, when he ready, then like I'll take the next step.
Yeah, but then, once we got on that same road, it's been going better. Because, she said two-way street. What's good, people? Before y'all leave, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Oh, and follow us at
Hunt Life the Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. You can also find me at I'm the Key on Instagram, and you can follow us on Hunt Life Code on Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me on Mr. Hunt Bubbles on everywhere. Mr. Hunt Bubbles on everything, and also Hunt Files. And don't forget, if you got any comments or any statements or anything that you want to leave us, you can always find us up on Instagram and Hunt Life the Podcast. Have a great day, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Hunt Life, live dreams.